Why I chose to stay and what happened. Precious was in the state of emotional drained and feeling distanced from her husband, Kelvin. Wake up on a quite rainy Thursday morning, ready to leave her family. Her bags are packed, and she plans to walk away from the silence and emotional disconnect that has grown in her marriage. That small moment of connection stiffed something in Precious. She don't stay because it's easier, but because in that instant she realizes that choosing to stay can be an act of love and courage. Precious John is a beautiful young lady whose occupation is a therapist assistant, who was born in March 14, 1996. Precious grew up in a small town and moved to the city in her early 20s, chasing her dreams. Precious John parents are Kelechi John and Elena John. Precious John parents loved Precious so much because she was too intelligent and supportive in the family before she got married. Precious John was so beautiful that whenever she passed, almost all the young guys must turn around to look at her beauty and smile. She has an attractive smile and she talks so magical. Precious got married to Kelvin Emmanuel, who is a staff of biggest company Light PLC. They both love each other and they share things in common and they respect each other ideals. In their 1 year of marriage, everything was going smoothly. They both agreed to give birth to a child to make the home more sweet. So Precious was pregnant and gave birth to a female child called Sophia. Sophia was so beautiful that everyone said that she looked like her mum because of the mum beauty. In the 2 years in marriage, everything was going smoothly and nice. Sophia has already started walking and pronounced some small words calling mum and dad. Sui was intelligent at that stage. Sophia was enrolled in a standard school called the Future Leaders. The teacher was impressed at Sophia's level of intelligence that in school she always took first position. In their 1 year in marriage, Kelvin understand Precious love languages, which is love and attention. The love and attention was there for about 3 years in the marriage. Both lovebirds was planning to celebrate their 4th year's anniversary in the marriage. On this day, Kelvin was promoted in his workplace as a manager in the company. Precious was super happy for the promotion. Precious brought an expensive watch for him to celebrate the greatness of the man he married. Kelvin took his family for dinner to enjoy together. Kelvin resumed at work as the company manager. At first day at work as the manager, the staff welcomed him with a great happiness. Then the workload increases so badly that Kelvin comes back home lately in the night. Unlike before, whenever Kelvin comes back home, he will still be checking emails, writing proposal for new clients. Kelvin's attention towards beautiful, young, smart Precious started dropping. He doesn't notice her again. He doesn't kiss her before going to work. He hardly spends time with his beautiful child Sophia again. All this marriage issues was coming up in this marriage. Precious started complaining to Kelvin that he has stopped giving her time and attention that she loved most. Kelvin started shouting at Precious because of the complaint. Precious was surprised to see his husband shouting at her. For the first time, Kelvin actions speak to Hardly that he is ready to beat her up if she keep complaining. I'm working so hard for the family, and you are here complaining. Then Kelvin work out. Then after Kelvin returned back from work, took his bath laying down to sleep. Then Precious work up to him to make love together, but Kelvin refuses, saying that he has tried Precious, felt so bad and slept off. On the 20th of March, something terrible happened. Sophia was involved in a major injury in her left leg. The teacher called Sophia mother, Precious informing her that Sophia fell down from the steps case. Sophia fainted because of the too much blood lost. Precious left her work and rushed to the school and then took her to the hospital immediately. The doctor started the treatment, but he was demanding that his father must be present to sign a document which will give him the right to start the operation, because Sophia had a serious major injury on her left leg. Precious called his husband for about 20 missed calls, but Kelvin did not pick up the calls. Time was going. Precious had to do something in other to save Sophia's life. She called one of his male friends and explained everything to him. Then he agreed to come over to sign the document after the document has been signed. The doctor started working. Glory be to God, the operation was successful. Mr. Kelvin returned the calls, but Precious didn't pick up the calls, so he was curious to find out what happened. That Precious had been calling him for about 20 missed calls, so he then went to Sophia's school to pick her up. Behold, the teacher explained to him what happened. Then he now rushed to the family doctor to check on Sophia. Suddenly, the wife was already crying because of the disappointment from the husband. What if her friend didn't sign the document? What will have happened? but Mr. Kelvin started begging his wife. But Precious asked him to save the explanation that he chose work over the family. At this point, she needed time to think about the marriage. Rain tapped gently against the window of the small kitchen. The air was heavy with the scent of coffee toast and something unspoken. It was a Thursday, nothing special, but by the calendar standards. But sometimes everything changes on the most ordinary days. Precious had packed her bags the night, which includes folded clothes, toothbrush, a last-minute afterthought. Every item was a silent goodbye, a piece of a life she had been preparing to leave for months. The husband was still asleep upstairs. Her daughter Sophia has already turned 3 years old and wild with curiosity, slept curled in a tangle of dreams and pink blanket. Across the hall, Kelvin turned towards the wall, breathing in that steady, absent rhythm that had once comforted her, and now felt like an echoes of someone she used to know because of lack of love. For months, the silence between them has grown roots. Conversation had become logistical exchange of fight. The absence of laughter, of shared glances, of reaching for each other in the dark. Somewhere along the way, they had drifted from being partners to being polite co-managers of a shaved space of no more love. And Precious was tired. Tired of being the one who always tried. Tired of hearing herself say it's fine when it wasn't. Tired of crying in the car with the music up so no one would hear. She thought of the life that waited on the other side. Freedom maybe, peace or at least silence that she want. Then Sophia's footsteps padded safety down the stairs. Mom, the little voice was laced with sleep. Mom, Mom. Precious turned. Her daughter's smile was everything, her eyes shining like a morning light, and just like that, something inside her cracked. Sophia didn't run to her, she didn't ask questions, she just climbed onto the chair beside her and laid her small head against her arm. At that moment, Precious started thinking, if I leave this beautiful girl who will take care of her very well. This family was built with love, commitment, and hope. Precious locked up the bag by the door and started crying, and she said, I need to fight for this marriage. She didn't stay because it was easier, she stayed because for the first time in a long time, she realized staying could be a choice, not a sentence. A decision made not from fear, but from love for her daughter, for herself, and for the family. Later, she engaged in a good conversation with Kelvin, not out of desperation, but with honesty. When you love someone, you put in your best to make sure the person is happy always. The both called a therapist to help them make the marriage work out again. The both had this mindset that they want to try this love again. Without complaining, the rain slowed. The sky began to open, and that was the day she chose to stay. Why I chose to stay and what happened. Precious was in the state of emotional drained and feeling distanced from her husband, Kelvin. Wake up on a quite rainy Thursday morning, ready to leave her family. Her bags are packed, and she plans to walk away from the silence and emotional disconnect that has grown in her marriage. That small moment of connection stiffed something in Precious. She don't stay because it's easier, but because in that instant she realizes that choosing to stay can be an act of love.